Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Hopefully you're doing quite well. If not, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully we can pick your spirits up just a wee bit, maybe, hopefully. And you can enjoy your day or night or morning or wherever you are around the world. Hopefully it can improve just ever so slightly while you're here today. So this episode, if you couldn't tell by the title and the description, it's not a review. It's not an interview. It's just kind of a mishmash, hodgepodge of a few different things. And, well, some things that are honestly highly important. Well, I say highly important. If you're a Lego fan, they fall under important. Everything Lego falls under the category of important. And the first thing I wanted to touch on was that Lego is officially going to be selling Braille bricks to you, to me, to Tim down the street, to Tony up the road, to Jill over across the way, to Samantha across the way, and to Judy, 5 blocks over. Like, this is a thing. This is going to happen come September 1st. You can actually buy the new Braille bricks. I say new to you and I, new to the standard consumer. And the reason I know it's new to us, make sure you listen to episodes coming up here in the next few days. That's all I'll say. But I found out information earlier this week, and I put in a call to the school district that I work in, to the visually impaired division of special services. And I was like, hey, I got a question about this. Do you know about this? And they said, oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, we already have some of those Braille bricks. It's like, fascinating. That's kind of cool. And I have some content planned from that just to hear how that works with with people that actually work with students, doesn't matter what age, on how it works for them, what they do with them, how they utilize them, what else can you do with them. So it's kind of fascinating. And, hopefully I can be bringing that to you here in the next few weeks. Now back to the bricks themselves. They are going to be available on the 1st of September this year, 2023. And we have World Blind Awareness Month in October. If you didn't know, that is absolutely a thing. And, we're talking about inclusivity, accessibility, all that kind of stuff. That is where Lego is hitting the nail on the head. And I'm finally happy to say that they're releasing them to the general public. Before, it was like this special program. You had to go through these loopholes and all this kind of weird stuff, jump through the hoops and under the ropes and step over the minefield just to be able to get them. And now you can, or at least you will here in the next few weeks. So at the launch of these things, they will only have English and French versions, but later into early 2024, you can get Italian, German, and Spanish, which early 2024, is that January? Is that March? Is that Q2? What does the early mean? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So pre-orders are open. If you want the English Braille bricks, 40656, it's going to cost you $90 in the US. It's going to cost you $150 Australian dollars. It's going to cost you just about 80 pounds, 90 euros, and 120 Canadian dollars. They are available in the US, the UK, Republic of Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. If you want the French Braille bricks, 40655, it's going to cost you 90 euros. CHF is 109. I don't know what that is. Is that Swiss? I don't know. And Canadian dollars, of course, 120. So they will be available in France, Canada, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and Belgium. So the bricks themselves are kind of honestly, they're kind of fascinating in their own right. I'm really kind of curious. It doesn't have a ton. It doesn't have a ton of things in there. It's only 287 pieces, but you have the letters of the alphabet. You have the numbers from 0 up through 9. You know, you have some math symbols. You have some grammar symbols here, you know, of apostrophe and a comma and a period. You have a hashtag or pound sign, depending how you determine that. But you have all of these other things, you know, these math equation pieces and stuff like that, you know, plus, minus, division, times, all that kind of stuff. Multiplication symbol, I guess you could say. But it is fascinating. So they do come in different colors. You have this kind of like a neon green. You have an azure blue. You have a lighter yellow. I don't know if that's true yellow or it's a lighter yellow. You have white. You have red. I mean, you have a bunch of different things here. So while blindness may be a thing, and I don't know necessarily about color. I don't know how all of this works. But it is something that I am absolutely fascinated about and determined to find out how this is going to work. What is going to work with it? How are these things going to go with this, that, and the other? So you have to figure with all of the pieces that come with this, you are going to get multiple letters, you know, the certain consonants, vowels, of course, but you know, certain consonants, you know, you're going to get multiple of them. You may get multiple, you know, apostrophes or periods or stuff like that. Multiple math equation symbols. That would be phenomenal. Absolutely. So they are going to be coming. If you're curious about them, absolutely go check them out, because I think they're going to be super important. Well, they are super important for kids that are, you know, visually impaired. It doesn't matter whether you are completely blind or, you know, a percentage of blindness. It doesn't matter. They are super important in education and just general everyday language. So, yeah. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the not new, but the BrickLink Designer Program. The Series 2 designs have been unveiled. And if you don't know anything about it, the BrickLink Designer Program, it is essentially just think of it as like a different Lego ideas. And I don't want to say it's lesser of a thing. It's just different. So we have 5 designs, and these are the finalists. And what they're going to do is these sets, obviously, you know, what the mock designer, the creator of these has done is their own thing, but it has to go through stringent testing. It goes back through, and it has to make sure that it fits the Lego category and colors, and it fits, you know, design techniques and building techniques and instructions and stuff like that. So it's not just one of those things that it's just, oh, they created it, it's done. So the next thing that they do after that is the crowdfunding phase, where you can pre-order them. Each set that receives over 3,000 pre-orders will make it into production, and there will be a limited number of 20,000 of each set produced. So if one of these you're like, oh my God, I need to have it, I suggest once this is possible, you jump on it and support it 1 bajillion%. So any of the sets that are successful in their crowdfunding phase, they'll go through production and they will ship out sometime in November 2024. Again, that, you know, the last time this happened, the time frame was similarly close. Not in November is not what I'm saying, but like, let's say they said January 2021. Okay, it could be February, it could be January. Just, you know, temper your expectations as what it should be. So one of the 5 that made it is the Mushroom House by Jonas Cram. Jonas writes for New Elementary. Incredible dude. Incredible, you know, design person. Somebody that can look at something and just be like, bam, this is what we're doing. So you have a little snail that is being ridden here with some flowers and some goodies hanging off of it. You have a little wheelbarrow that looks like it should be something from the Flintstones. And you have this mushroom house. It's gorgeous. I love the way it looks. The thing is about Jonas is he takes pieces and parts that should not be used in the way that they are and absolutely says, hold my beer. That is what he does. Absolutely just kills it. So it's fascinating to see what can be or what could be from Jonas. His little mushroom house. Yeah, I'm in. Give me 100%. I'm in. The next one is the Ocean House by Hanwas or Hanwas. I don't know. Hanwas. It's kind of cool. It's kitschy to a certain degree. I like the tiling around the outside. The roof looks really funky. You kind of have this idea that it's supposed to be some kind of Asian theme. From the roof peak, you've got somebody wearing a hat that you would see somebody in the older culture of Asia. I guess, I don't know if they wear those hats. I don't know what those hats are, but Master Wu's hat, basically. But you have this little walkway, this angled walkway that comes up. You're on stilts above the water. It's kind of unique. You got a little boat here. I like the idea of it. My question is, where do you put it? Is this a standalone piece? Can you connect it to something? Can you represent it with something else? I don't know. I think you could, but I'm not certain. But it does look really nice. I do like the way it looks. The other one is the Logging Railway by Ties 25, TIES 25. This is an elevated train. When I say elevated train, I mean it's elevated on elevated tracks. So honestly, I feel like the majority of things that you're getting here is the elevated trackway. As if it's going across some kind of bridge, over some kind of valley, like a wide dry riverbed is what it feels like. You have your caboose back here. You have logs that are on one of the cars. You have your coal car and you have your locomotive, which, okay, it's kind of neat. Not horrible. As a train person, you would love this. As a person, it's like, you know what? I don't think this is something that you would just display as a normal person. Now, I don't know what the radius is of the track here, but it is definitely not straight, which does also change things and, give you a better idea of what you're kind of dealing with. So the next one we have here is Brick Cross Train Station by Brickster, and modular feel. Uniquely designed building. I love the roof of this thing. I love the texturing of all the flows, the corners and above on the side and stuff like that. This is sensational. This is what I am looking for. Something like this. And I say it's, fits modular. It does. It has the modular 1x2 bricks, the Technic bricks that have holes to take pins. I'm in 100%. The design of this thing is phenomenal. We need something like this. Now on the rear of it, you do have some train track. So you can attach this into a city building. You might have to adjust some things, but I love the idea that you can run a train track across the back of this thing. It's phenomenal. Then we have Ominous Isle by Jazzle Craz. Jazlecraz. This feels a little bit like pirates mixed with islanders, mixed with the more modern Indiana Jones, mixed with Pirates of the Caribbean, mixed with pirates, mixed with Pirates of Barracuda Bay. It has all kinds of different things that feel like it should be here. You have this kind of island colony with some greenery. It's essentially like a shipwrecked island. And you have this brick-built kind of scary skull type thing that is an entrance through a mouth. It's neat. I really like it. I think if you're a fan of pirates, if you're a fan of, adventure type things, you will love this. Without a doubt, you will love it. And, I think it'll do well. I think it'll do gangbusters. So out of the 5, without a doubt, I think the Ominous Isle will be funded. I think it'll be funded almost immediately. I think it'll hit 20K within 72 hours, let's say. 72 hours? 96, I think. Somewhere in that range. The Brick Cross train station. Now all of these are dependent upon price. The Brick Cross train station. let's say it's let's say it's 150 USD. I think it'll do well. If it's 200, I think it's going to struggle. I really, really do. Now, there are a lot of tiny pieces here, and it still has to go through the program, the Lego program, to make sure everything is proper techniques and this way and that way and proper pieces and all that. So it may be more, it may be less. I think it'll probably be less once the design team gets a hold of it. However, if it's around 150, I would even say 170. I think it's done. I think it's in. I think it hits the numbers, and I think it sells. The logging railway. My concern with this is the price that you're going to pay for this, for the value that you're getting. You have an elevated train on an elevated track. I think the piece count is going to be way too high to justify any price tag for this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this doesn't make it. There are a lot of train people, but I don't know that the train people are going to pay that for all the wooden pieces and stuff like that underneath of the train track. I just don't see it happening. I'm going out on a limb. I'm calling my shot right now. The logging railway doesn't fund. The ocean house, it feels like two mixes. I love it. I think it's really nice. It feels Asian inspired, but it also feels kind of, Bahama meets French colony to a certain degree. It has this weird mix, this weird idea. And again, we're talking price. I have no idea. This is going to be over 100. Almost certainly has to be over 100. I could see 120 here, maybe. I don't know what the inside looks like specifically. I could see 120. And with that in mind, can it get 3K? I think it could get 3K. Yeah. Now, Jonas's design, I think it fits under the Mario umbrella to a certain degree. It's kind of kitschy. It is very, it's not steampunk, but it's its own little thing. Like, I see the snail and I think the never ending story, right? That's the vibes that it put back on me. The racing snail here. It's a unique build. I love it. My only concern is it too out in left field, too far out in left field where people are kind of like, what do I do with it? Where do I go with it from here? I'm curious as hell to see what the building techniques are behind this, because Jonas, like I said, Jonas does some weird stuff, man. If you've read anything that New Elementary has put out and it has had Jonas's name attached to it, you're like, holy crap, how did he do that? He takes like 30, 40, 50 pieces from a set and he's like, bloop, bloop, bloop. And he has something that should be on no earthly idea using Lego. Like, it should never have been a thing. And he just does it. Like it's not even something you dream about that is out of this world. Like this weird, phantasmal, weird type, fantasy type dream. And he just does it. So price point, I think if this has a pretty good price point, it'll do well. If it is a little on the higher end, I think it's going to struggle. Jonas has his followers and stuff like that. So those people will support it. Absolutely 100%. I love this thing. I just need to see what the price point is on this and with some of the others. I said, I'm in on the island, the aisle. Well, if you're going to charge me $200, I'm probably out. And if we go on past history, the BrickLink Designer Program has been a little pricey. So I guess we just kind of have to wait and see, You just truly and honestly never know. So yeah, there is that. So we do have some other news things that we're going to talk about. We're going to cut it out for today. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about it. I want you to go look at these items. I want you to go and really think to yourself, could I use this? Could I display this? Would I be able to display this? How can I display this? Where can I display this? What do you think the price point is going to be? And I honestly want you to take an idea of what these 5 things are. And I want you to take the idea of what you see and come up with your own price point in your head. Because I find that if you have the ability or actually take the time to go back and say, you know what? I think it's worth this. It definitely changes your purchasing power. It's not a FOMO moment. It's not an impulse moment. It's a well-calculated thing. Create a spreadsheet, a Google sheet. Say, you know what? Here's what I think it's worth. Here's what it's going to sell for. You know, put a pros and cons list together, you know, with the 3 circles. What is the overlap here? Because I think some of these are going to be a little high. Really, really do. So anyway, it's going to wrap up today. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.